Dancing Queen, he's got the YouTube show. Dancing King, he's got the Reggae show.
Don Sinclair, Reggae Vibes, right here at the YouTube studios in London. And we're live and direct. Yours truly, Selector Hype. I am your presenter today. And we have live and direct from out of the UK, one of my favorite sound systems that I keep talking about on many occasions about how they are about to gonna make a crazy, crazy impact on the UK scene right about now. So welcome all the way from out of London, the man himself, Chalice Naya, Platinum Cartel. Something, fam?
Give thanks, man. I don't know what to say after all of that. Those superlatives in terms of an introduction. That's just crazy. I feel quite humbled, to be honest.
But it's always been a good look, because we've been friends for a good while now. We've been in and out of the Clash arena. You're still in it right now, in the real thick of it, and it's really good to see how much progress where you are from we first went on the battlefield to where you are right now. Let's go back to the beginning of the whole Platinum Cartel. When did the sound start, and when did it form, and what made you just decide to say, you know what, sound system is the thing I want to do?
You know what? It's kind of crazy because the whole thing started from my brother still. Like, my brother's, he's in the sound as well. Strokey, big up yourself, you don't know. And I'm going to give a shout out to all my crew in a bit, but you don't know, so I'm going to answer the question. So Strokey was the one, he's been playing music from like he was knee high. I always remember him on the Gerard turntables. You know the Gerard?
Yeah, man, the original tape.
So you can tell it's from there. I never had an interest in it. He was the person that always played music, was into music. And then one day, I think it was 89. 89, he turned around and he put 2 decks in front of me. And him said to me, yo, go on. And I looked at the decks to him, and that wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? And the 2 tracks he gave me was... Leave People Business Alone. Things and Time Rhythm. Leave People Business Alone. And it was a 12-inch, so it meant on the flip side you had the other rhythm, which was Cutty Ranks, Gunman Lyrics. You had the Leave People and the Yami Bolo. So what it was, he gave me those 2 tracks and he goes, mix. And I really didn't know what I was doing, but I watched him. And this time it wasn't even no techniques. It was belt drive, so you have to... So, and from there, it just progressed. My mum then bought us a set of decks because she saw that I kind of liked it. I was like, yeah, all right, cool. And I then, from there, just evolved into where I'm at now. That was kind of the start of me saying, yeah, man, sound system. But it was genuinely his vision.
And the name Platinum Cartel.
Well,
it's a cool name, really. It's one of them ones that rolls off the tongue. Like, it doesn't sound like if you hear a Clash and you say Platinum Cartel, it's like
we could fit into that niche where the soul boy, the sweet boy is kind of thing. Like,
so where did the name come from?
Well, what it was, I played Tubbys before, big up King Tubbys, and then after from Tubbys I went to Coxon.
Okay.
And then from Coxon, I was with Coxon briefly, and I came back to the UK. About 1999 is when I then parted ways with Coxon. Okay. And I felt for me like, this isn't it. This isn't the journey. It just doesn't end here with Coxon, because I felt Coxon was too great a sound for me to just turn my back on music on the whole. So I was there sitting down thinking about names, and was throwing names left, right, and centre. And me and Chin was brethren from Coxon days. Okay. So this day now we came up with the name Platinum, and it was like, I was like, you know what? Because the rappers at the time in America was always talking about platinum disc, 3 times platinum. Yeah. And to me, platinum basically meant that, and if you achieve platinum status, you're doing something. You're there. Happening. So I was like, well, that's the aim. Any song that we voice has to be of a standard that is quality. So then kind of bounced it around with my brother, the name and whatnot, and then I called Chin the morning, and I say, yo, Chin. And it was morning for me, but nighttime for Chin. And I said, Chin, what do you think about that song name, Platinum and whatever? And old Chin turned around and said the morning was like, like him did I sleep, and him said, that sound too bad enough. That's all he said. He goes, yeah, it can work. And so I was like, all right, cool. Before, we'll do that. We'll work with the Platinum. And was working with the Platinum for a few years. Then shortly after that, I kind of fell out of love with the music, and it was a thing like, I don't even know where I'm going with this. So took a break, And in the period when I took a break, a lot of platinums kind of rose. A lot of sounds. They could have been there before. I don't know. No disrespect to them, but they came to prominence when we kind of took a break.
Okay.
And the one thing about platinum for me at the time was because platinum wasn't just me. It was my brethren Junior and Strokey. It was never just me, but it was me that basically came up with the idea of moving on. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was Junior also used to select Tubbys.
Okay.
Big up Junior Cartel, you don't know. And so what it was, I looked on what platinum was about, and there was another selector around the sound at the time that we brought into named Flex. Okay. And he also used to select another sound. So I was thinking, man, how are we going to kind of flip this platinum thing so that we're different from everybody else out there? Mm. And then I just remembered that, you know, when you've got a cartel of individuals, they kind of all gather at the table. Yeah. And with the cartelists, they usually have one aim. Mm. Even though you're from different families, when you're trying to sell your work, the one aim is that production, innit? You're trying to get that production out there on the street and whatnot. So I looked at it and goes, okay, you used to play Tubbys, you used to play your sound, and we're moving like a cartel now. And so that's how I then thought, let's add it to the name. And but everybody started spelling it with a K, because then Vibes Cartel started coming true. Okay. So, and we kind of wanted to differentiate it from that, because we didn't want people to feel it was riding off Vibes' back. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the rest is history, as they say.
When it comes to describing your sound, I mean, that's the name, and like I said, it's a cool name. In terms of your style of playing, if there was somebody was to never listen to Cartel before, and they just like came across, how would you describe Platinum's Cartel style of playing?
That is a very good question, because the truth be told is that it depends on the type of event. Around Cartel is, and as simple as you see, many people see me now, I got the locks, and think that my music knowledge probably ends at Sizzler and begins with Dennis Brown and that. But when you hear Cartel play at any occasion, we have fit into that mold. It could be a wedding. You'd hear a different style of Cartel. It could be a Sweet Boy Soul Rave. You hear a different style of Cartel. Revival. We're very adept at how we play. So in terms of if you was to kind of pigeonhole Cartel, it's not going to work. We just see ourselves as an entertainment unit. And now that we've kind of branched onto the Clash arena now, our thing is to just shut that down as well, just to add that to the repertoire and shut that down as well. And I think we're on our way. We're on our way.
Definitely. And which side of London are you representing?
Well, I'm from Brixton originally, but you don't know King Tubbys at Brixton. And if Tubbys say he's the king, then that don't leave no space for me in Brixton unless he allows the prince to challenge the king. But that's another story. We've been waiting on that. But I would still say Brixton. But because Tubbys is predominantly known as the Brixton sound, I'm willing to say South London. I'll go one above the king and say South London.
Rip whole of South. Now, you're just talking about you ready to just dominate the whole sound clash industry. Right now, you're definitely making an impact. Can you remember the very first sound clash that you was in, and how did that turn out? Real major sound clash.
Major?
Let's just say the very first clash, and when you really took the vibe to say, man.
You're going to probably laugh when I tell you. It was against one of your hometown sounds, Fire Sound.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was down here, isn't it?
Big up Dumpling and Fire Town.
Yeah, man, big up Fire Sound.
And that was the first ever time we decided to like touch into the Sound Clash arenas. That was about 2010. You know, we haven't been in it that long in terms of 2010. We decided, I got wet with foot a little bit and see what I go on. And we jumped in it, and the outcome was a victory. You know, it wasn't plain sailing, because they kept... Fire Sound is a sound that they may take a couple punches and kicks in the early rounds, but when it's tune for tune, them man, they're ready for kind of getting to the ring, and you know what I mean? And that's what it was. Tune for tune that's when they came back, and it was quite difficult, but we was victorious at the end of that. What's
your favourite overall clash that you've been in? The one that you really... Because sound clash can be extremely tense. You know when you're just so... You're so tunnel focused that you don't really get a chance to enjoy yourself. And sometimes you win and you think, well, How did that happen? Is there a clash where you just thought everything is just going to plan and we get to that tune, that drop and all them things there?
Funny enough, we haven't had that many. We've had probably about 8 clashes, probably that amount. But my favourite would have to be London Cut Clash, only because of the fact that 6 sounds, you don't know what's going to be played, and you have to make sure your box can contend with whatever's played, and we was able to do that. It showed the growth of the box in that, because we said we're not playing these songs until such and such a times, and we was allowed to. So it showed growth in the box, that I was able to say, put those rhythms there till third round. When I touch them, the rhythm there, and we know say no boy, and I'll go play them the song there, and that was it. So I'd say London Cup Clash. Big up Marley and Bashment and the team.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then, so next question in terms of sound system, and this is a debate that's been going on for a while still, and I'm always trying to make it a duty to try and ask the sound man them. Having equipment, you have your own sound system, Platinum Cartel. Do you think it's relevant nowadays? I mean, in terms of you have a couple of man them who are spending money, crazy money on dub plates, don't have no equipment, going into the sound clash with just their laptop. Is it right to call them a sound system as such?
Well, you call a boy band a band, whether they have bands playing behind them or not. So my argument is that things and times change.
Yeah.
And nowadays, the purists will argue and say that you can't call yourself a sound system if you haven't invested in the hard work of lifting up box and the equipment and so forth.
Yeah.
And the monetary spending of it. But let's be real, dubs cost probably more than what a sound system costs nowadays.
Yeah.
So who am I to judge a man if he wants to try this particular part and say he's a sound, especially if he's investing in it? Because myself and my brother had an argument, and when I say argument, it's not big argument like fight argument. From when Cartel first was coming through, we had a debate about which was more important, songs or sound. And to this day, we have never agreed on it. To this, my brother's a purist. He, like I say, come from turntables.
Yeah.
I am a purist to a fact, but I'm a realist as well. And I also recognize that there's no venues out there. Well, I shouldn't say there is none. There is a shortage of venues that will allow us as African people to play music how we want to play it. And when I say want play it, I talk with the heavy bass line and with the 4-bin load up and all these things. So if you can't do that nowadays, I don't see the sense in heavily investing in equipment. I think you should still have one though.
And what does it take nowadays, as we're speaking now, 2017, with all the technology and everything, away from all that, or you can also include that, what does it take to be top of your game right now in the sound system culture? It's like if there was 3 main things that you said, without those kind of like 3 main things, you're going to struggle.
I believe you need a good promotion team. That is definitely one of the things you need. You also need an identity in terms of when we're talking about what people know to expect from you, because I'm not going to book you if I don't know what you're going to deliver.
Okay, true.
So, you need a good promotion team, but that is backed up by the fact that you've got an identity for your promotion team to push you.
Yeah.
You also have to be kind of that integrity and honesty and all that has to come through as well, because no one wants to book someone who they can't trust.
Yeah, true.
And also you have to have knowledge and experience of the business. And when I'm saying knowledge and experience of the business, I'm talking about from when Selfish Ashingo all stop. You understand? Don't think for a minute reggae music start and ends at Vibes, Cartel and Alkaline.
True.
You understand? You need to delve into it and realize that where a lot of these rhythms were coming from, where they come from, the basis of these rhythms. And you can only do that by studying it. So you do need to do that as well.
Good answer, man. Good answer. It's Don Sinclair's Reggae Vibes right here. Massive. Remember to make sure you subscribe. Check out all the rest of the interviews, all the videos that are on there. That is absolutely amazing. So big shout out reaching out to Don Sinclair. Let's talk dub plates now, man. You know how I have to go down the dub plate lane now. Let's start from the beginning. Very first dub plate that you cut as Platinum Cartel. Can you remember that? Do you remember the price of it as well? Would you like to
Yeah.
reveal that as well?
It's crazy because the very first dub plate that I cut was a combination Elijah Prophet and Terry Ganzi. And it was on the Lalabella rhythm.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that was the very first special. And it came as part of a package. So it was hard for me to turn around and say how much it cost. But I remember the package at the time, I had only sent probably about £150.
Okay.
And in that package, I did get a nice 3 or 4 songs.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You know
how times change. Well, that's my next question. Is the whole thing about the dub plates and the costs and the fees? I mean, like you just said, a package back then. A package, you know.
Yeah, and if we tell you who did in a package, it's crazy. Sibbles did in a package. I told it off.
Man.
Yeah, but those dubs are still sweet to this day. Sibbles sound fresh. You know what I mean? Tony Tough, big up yourself, always sound quality.
Always, man.
Always,
yeah, one of my favourite artists. And what do you think about the fees that artists are charging now for dub plates?
You know what? For me, it's a bit of give and take for me because I know so the artists them personally they don't really get much dividends from their work because it's a promotion. They're kind of trying to rely on going abroad and touring and promoters booking them because how their thing is that they're trying to bust themselves. They're trying to come true. So for me, I know that a lot of producers are not paying these artists. So for me, it's a case of I cannot tell you how much your work is worth. I can only disagree with it if I feel it's too much for my pocket.
Yeah, true.
So you see, when an artist tell me saying want $250, and I'm looking at the tune and the longevity of the tune, if it's gonna benefit Cartel in Cartel's dub box, then I've got to decide on whether I'm willing to pay that or not. So that question for me is always a question where I say, I'm 50-50, man. I'm 50-50. I know that it takes time to hone your craft. And what it is, a lot of us as people now, we see the artists at where they are now. We don't see where they were coming from or what they had to do to get to where they are now. So to me, sometimes when the artists are charging our money, the amount of work that they've put in to reach to where that, you know, they kind of calculate that. Because if a man turn to me right now, I'm going to say, right now, I want £700 for a booking, and they turn around and they says, that's too much. I know why I've charged you that.
Okay.
I've charged you that not because of the fact that I feel that I need a big payday or a small payday in some case. I've charged you that because I know that I've invested heavily into my sound, and I feel that this event here, I know what I'm going to come and give it. I know what I'm going to... So, you know, I'm looking to get some dividends back. You know what I mean?
I know across the border of your dub box, which I know is crazy deep, and it's got very different styles. That a lot of sounds tend to kind of like miss certain rhythms. And Platinum Cartel has been a sound that picks it out, and then you think, oh man, I wish I cut it on that rhythm, but you've already got the tune because you cut it on Far East or something, you know, something like that. Do you have a particular artist? You know, we have the sound systems, you know, bass Odyssey, them say a bounty, Addy say a bounty. Probably 80% of sounds, do say bounty. Is there a particular artist that you have who you can kind of like say when it comes to the artist there, a Cartel
him will
artist?
deal with Cartel neatly and nicely. The artist that I will always mention, everybody will say is their artist, and it's because he's probably one of the most genuine individual in the business right now. This artist here, I think, he just enjoys and is passionate about singing. So he makes it his business that every sound system can play him. And that's Luciano.
Okay.
Lucy for me, the messenger for me, I would never say is my artist. He's our artist. But we have some of the best cuts of Luciano. Okay. And we have some one-away songs where Luciano would tell you, say, boy, that song you met man for digging at the catalogue and look for certain songs. So me always say big up the messenger because you don't know, probably one of the realest, truest to the thing. You understand?
Man, trust me, big artist. Vibes on today's UK scene when it comes to sound system. There's a lot of people trying to put it down for some unknown reason, and it's just absolutely no need for it. So how are you seeing the vibes right now?
I agree with you. I do believe some people put it down, but believe that the individuals that put it down is a minority.
Okay.
But because they're more vocal. Because let's be real, a lot of people don't do Facebook.
Yeah.
And we've now got into a stage where we think that it begins and ends with Facebook.
Yeah.
But when you go into a dance and you're seeing certain man coming up to you and shaking you, I'm sure you get that as selector.
Yeah.
Yes, my love what you do. You won't see that on Facebook because they don't do Facebook.
Yeah, true.
But what it is, to a degree, I believe that the vocal ones that right now have the power to make a difference, unfortunately, they're not making much of a difference because I see where you're coming from, where it seems as if they are tearing it down. That's their opinion. Maybe some of them are disappointed with the fact that a lot of UK sounds do run. A lot of UK sounds price themselves out of dances. A lot of UK sounds don't want to lose. These are all the factors there. However, for me personally, I could know all of that, but it's not for me to go out there and lambast or publicly flog somebody because my thing is about upliftment. And I do hope that once this message goes out there from Dancing Clear and everyone else and from yourself, that people might basically have a different view because people are looking in. And one thing I've noticed is that you will never get any other countries putting down their sounds as much as you get UK people doing it. And it is disappointing. But
do you think it's more of a passion then?
I think these people are passionate about
fans
it.
But they're just a bit harsh on the sounds though.
You know what? I think a lot of these people have favourite sounds. And when their favourites are not doing so, it's like football fans, isn't it?
Yeah. You kind of say the same thing.
What team you support?
Me Spurs.
You support Spurs. You will never big up Arsenal unless you have to.
Yeah.
And if you have to, it's because you do it grudgingly. You go, yeah, they're playing well.
I missed that one. Still, television broke down.
So I think a lot of these sound men are very much like that, where they grudgingly give you that rating, but they look for the opportunity to take it back.
Yeah. Always a but in there.
There's always a but. And a lot of these people grow up in the culture, but they fail to realise things and time change. The sound man then are not the sound man now. The culture then is not the culture now in terms of sound system and music and there is the essence of it is there, but it's a totally different thing. Totally different.
I hear that. And on Reggae Vibes right here, this is my second interview.
Yeah,
I got a crazy interview with King Tubbys. Look out for that. And he's kind of set the thing now because I'm going to be kind of like doing a lot of presenting with my man Dancing Clear. It's kind of crazy right now. And Tubbys has set the mark. The question that constantly hears somebody ask a sound system and then never answer it. Tubbys answered it. And I asked him the question is, if there's any sound you want to clash right now, who's that sound you want to clash? He says, Kilimanjaro. Normally when you ask that question, the answer you get is, boy, I'm kill any sound, anytime, anywhere, any place. One of them ones.
Yeah.
Are you really feeling them vibes there? If Tubbys did that, I wouldn't really too pressure you. But true, he's named the sound right here.
I'm good
Reggae
with that,
Vibes. Man. The sound that you would like to play one-on-one right now would be
King Tubbys.
Wow.
Tubbys.
Is that going to be taking place? Because we had a little conversation about it. He was, he didn't say yes and he didn't say no.
Cecil's very strategic. I've approached the team. I've approached the camp many a times.
Okay.
And remember, some come from Tubbys now. So I don't know if Cecil's strategy is the fact that I know some of the dub box. And he probably feels that I can basically counteract the dub box. But that was time ago. Things and time change, like I said. And what it is, if Cecil considers himself the king, and he's always argued that he sends no challenge and refuses no... I can't remember, I can't quote his phrase, but basically he says that he never runs. And I will put it on there now, is that at the end of the day, I want to know why it's not happened yet.
Okay. So there you have it. Promoters, get your money out, man, because that could happen. That would be.
There's talk of it happening summer.
Okay.
So
I saw a photograph circulating with yourself and Cecil, and it was like Don King in the middle, like doing his thing. You know what I mean? I was thinking, okay, this one might happen still. So we hope so. We look forward to that.
I'm confident in it happening now, especially because Tubbys is a big sound, and if Platinum wants to go on to the next level,
Have to cross those barriers.
we have to, because people would then say, yeah, all right, I'll give them some ratings now. And unfortunately, Tubbys is the sound that has ever been consistent. When I say unfortunately, I don't mean unfortunately that it's sad that it's unfortunate for him. So that means we have to meet him. That's what I mean when I say unfortunately, you know.
Now, you had 2 major events over there in the US. Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't take place. We won't go into why in that. I know it's probably like you've heard it million months. You probably want to just get that out the way.
I don't mind, man.
But being over there and being able to analyze the thing and not actually playing.
I did play.
Oh, you did play?
Played the introduction round.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah.
So doing that, what did you kind of like see? Because a lot of people are saying that UK sounds kind of fail over there in the US. Even though you didn't get really into it, could you see the reason why they are failing?
It's interesting because you know what? The majority of American sounds sound like UK sounds, but they just don't want to acknowledge that.
I think they all sound the same, to be honest.
When I say sound like UK sounds, I'm talking about the foundation of what they are. Sounds like UK's. Their backbone is built off Coxsone, Saxon, and Love and so forth. If you listen it, but they would never admit that. Addis is the only sound that would admit it.
Yeah. Face used to admit.
You understand?
Yeah.
But let's be real, innit? The truth be told is that if you are face to face with something that you've duplicated, you're not gonna like it. So my argument's this, because like I said, we went out there and we played an introduction round. Now, an introduction round, as you know, because you've been in the business, you're vetting the business, is that you don't go in there gun blazing, because you need to see who's who in the crowd, who's supporting who, because directly if Carl Sinclair sounds string up over there and he's got 80% of the crowd, you're not dissing Carl Sinclair.
Yeah.
I'm going to diss Selector Am. So you go in the dance and you kind of look at it and you see what's what. Even before I played my first song, they were booing me. Some man, when I turn around, I'm going to tell man, say, yo, we're going to play some different song. I'm hearing people say, yo, you better play Bob Marley. You better play. So that kind of showed you already that they weren't going to give me an easy ride in terms of a musical ride. They were never going to make it easy for me. But that aside, it doesn't mean I'm going over there to beg for them to like me. I need to prove that.
Yeah.
Cartel is a bad sound. So the introduction round, we played some songs and it was very lukewarm in terms of people that were watching. But I would love for the audio to be released because the truth be told, I think people were out there saying Cartel didn't impress me in their introduction round. Now, maybe we didn't impress you, but come on, man. Introduction
round.
What do you want me to do? Come on. But all I can say is that I think that America and UK have a love-hate relationship when it comes to sound system culture. And I think that really needs to stop, because why I say I think it needs to really stop, they need to put that on the back burner and just, because if Europe, and when I say Europe, the European sounds can go over there and they're given a chance to prove their dub box, allow the UK sounds the same. Yeah,
true. So and future plans for Platinum Cartel right now, and when it comes to social media, where can we find you?
Tafari Ray, W-R-A-Y, as in Ray like, and the nephew. That's our official platinum page. You can also listen to some of our mixes on SoundCloud. That's Platinum Dubplate Cartel.
Yep.
Instagram Platinum dash, or is it _, Cartel, and same at Platinum Cartel Twitter. And you can also find myself, Nikam, is that Nykam.
Yeah.
That's Facebook, Nikam Ents, ENTS. You can find us all there. But you know, we're active on Facebook. We just don't comment on many on all these messages. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
And if there's anybody out there, advice-wise, for anybody that's coming into the whole sound system industry, what advice would you kind of like give to them?
You know what? Prepare for spend some money. Have thick skin, because People are not watching how much money you spend in the business. They're watching what they like and don't like. So you could voice a junior gang for $2,000, and and at the end of the day, a man will rubbish that. Have a thick skin, and don't look for no handouts. You have to earn that. You have to earn that respect. Go out there, put in the work, put in your hard graft, and don't watch the naysayers, because there is not that there is more naysayers out there. They're the more vocal ones. The people who see you doing well, I wish that they would be the ones that would be more vocal and come forward and say yes. But they admire you from a distance, and they give that approval in turning up to your events. And they give that approval in looking at you and nodding and smiling and greeting you. They just don't give you that approval on Facebook, because they don't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Cool. It's true. It's true. Well, fam, Chalice Naya, Platinum Cartel. I could be here all day. I don't even talk about Splice Tune yet. We ain't talked about the Europeans and not coming over here. There's so many things we could talk about. Like I says, Don Sinclair's Reggae Vibes. I'm sure we're going to have you up inside the studio one more time. Is there anybody you want to big up before you're out of here?
Yeah, man. I got to big up the whole team, man. Strokey, Eric, Cammy Cartel. Big up Blade, big up Nick Bennett, Juxie, big up Father, Fathead. You don't know. Coxon, can't left him out, man. Generation, that Coxon to me, man, I don't know. That's the epitome of it all. Father Migas, Gaffer Blue, Marshall. The list goes on. There's too much empire. You know what? I cannot call everybody's name who's been on the journey with me. But believe me, when I say that I'm showing you that there's mad love and mad respect, it's there. If I've left you out, I apologize. All my people in America, Notorious, Warriors Choice, Yared, the list goes on. You know what I mean? Prince Fatal, Pepper, Music for Life. All I can say is there's too much to big up.
Yeah,
but you don't know, it's all there. Big up my mum. Can't leave her out. And you don't know, always Father God. Because without him, I'm nothing. They say God plus one is the majority. And that's why I'm still here.
Trust me.
I'm still here.
Well, there it is. Final words. Platinum Cartel, Don Sinclair, Selector Hype. What are you looking at? Subscribe. We're out. One. Peace.